Welcome everyone. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the markets first. So what we have here is on the daily time frame for SPY, we have what we call a turnaround Tuesday. Okay. Hey, Adriana, welcome. As usual, thank you so much for joining every single one of my lives so far, Adriana. I mean, you've been a great viewer. So thank you so much for coming in. And I'll make sure to do Amazon and Roblox. And you're welcome. Okay, so what we have here is what we call a turnaround Tuesday. We've been kind of having this same pattern where we had this turnaround Tuesday for the past, I would say, 2 weeks, right? Around 2 weeks. Around I guess, well, it's kind of a general pattern or trend, right? But so far we've been seeing that turnaround Tuesday happening so far, especially last week, right over here, right, and then today. Now, one thing that really intrigues me is that we did make a lower low and we made a higher high. And so whenever we are in this type of a condition for the markets where we make a lower low while in an uptrend, right? That's the reason why we made a higher high. We tend to usually get consolidation. So we tend to chop. And the only reason why I say that we chop as well is that if we use the previous data points here, right over here, I make it yellow so you guys can see it. All right. We chopped around between around 406 to around 414.50. All right, so this range here. And we're now right back into that range as last Friday we short squeezed all the way up over $406. And so this allowed us to come back over to hit at least 412, and we're very close to hitting 412 today. We're only off by 8 cents. So the high of the day today was $411.92. And so once we got really close to that whole number level, we rejected, and then we continued to move lower, creating this turnaround Tuesday of a trading day. And so for the next couple of days or the rest of the week, since we have such a short week ahead of us, since the markets close on Friday for Good Friday, I expect us to have very low volume as we've been seeing for the past 2 days, including today, all right? And we continue to chop around between at least 406 to 410, you know. And if you go back to the hourly time frame that I was showing you initially when we first started the live stream, we do have this large range on the hourly. So we have this range between 407.50 to 411.50, okay, or 50-ish. And in the middle, all right, we have a level at 409, okay, and we also have another level at 410. All right, so what I'm going to expect tomorrow is that we can see either a push over 409 and then retest this 10 SMA on the hourly time frame, and then move over that and retest 410, and then we break lower again, creating a lower high at 410. Okay, so this is our first high here, this first high point, 411.91, and the fact that we made a lower low point right over here, right, tells me that there is consolidation going on, right? We're starting to consolidate the move, right? We're letting some steam off, right? And so as we continue to move lower here, okay, I expect us to make a lower high at 410, and then we reject again and then make another lower low compared to this first low. And I mean, you know, like I said on the daily time frame, I'm going to expect low volume, and so we could be most likely seeing a very constructive pullback from this massive run up that we had since last week. And remember, we have 3 gaps to fill. All right, the first gap is right here. The second one's right here. And then there's a very, very tiny one right over here. So we have 1, 2, 3 gaps. And I already told my CFO Swing and Watch members, okay, I told this to the members on Sunday night through the private TA video that we will most likely not revisit this first gap up, all right, because again, we are holding above this psychological $400 level. And so there's no reason for us to really come back down below it or even come all the way back down to retest 400, right? But if we do, I expect us to hold over for 400 and not fill in this gap for quite some time. So make sure you guys remember there's a gap here, all right? So the first gap, number 1, second gap here, number 2, and then third gap right over here, very, very tiny, okay, number 3, right? Now, if you guys want to watch the private TA video, I made it public. I tend to do that in the middle of the week or basically on Tuesdays. Let me give you guys the link here. It was recently uploaded, so make sure you guys take a look at that to see what names that we're trading for the week as well, what you guys should be watching for as well. Let me get the link here. Okay, so this is what the members should be looking at as well. All right, so here is the video. All right, there it is, right there. Okay, it's in the chat. So, with that in mind, all right, maybe do nothing. PLTR, okay. So I'll do that after Amazon and Roblox. So again, I expect us to make a nice bull flag. All right, so a very constructive pullback. So something like this to occur. I mean, we're already forming this kind of a pennant here, this downward pennant or falling wedge, right? As we kind of connect these lows here, this low and low, right? So I guess this is the most recent pivot low here. You guys can consider that, or it can be this one as well. It doesn't really matter. It's kind of subjective at that point. But as you make these lower lows and lower highs here, as you form this falling wedge, well, ideally we want to form this falling wedge. Again, I expect us to either reject at 4.9 tomorrow or push a little bit up higher tomorrow for a nice little morning pump, and then reject at 4.10 and then create that second lower high compared to the first high at $411.91. Okay, and eventually I really want to see this falling wedge forming here to create that broader macro bull flag. Right, here's the flagpole, and then the falling wedge will be that flag attached to that flagpole. Okay, so the impulse to run up is the flagpole, and then the falling wedge is the flag, creating a bull flag. Now, one thing that I noticed on the 2-hour time frame, okay, is that we can be consolidating for quite some time. However, whenever we decide to consolidate on the 2-hour time frame during an uptrend, we tend to stick around between the 10 and 21 SMAs before we start to move up higher again and create another second leg up higher. And so, as you guys can clearly see here, we have rejected the 10 SMA on the 2-hour. All right. Hey, welcome guys. Welcome. So what we see here is that we rejected the 10 SMA and we're now staying below it, and we closed below the 2-hour 10 SMA. Now again, I only use the 2-hour time frame most, right? Compared to the other time frames like the 4-hour and the 1-hour. So this is the reason why I tend to look at the SMAs a lot more on the 2-hour time frame compared to the first hour or even the 4-hour. Okay, so if you guys use other hourly time frames, you guys still can use the same analysis that I'm doing here, but obviously the SMAs will be shown to be a little bit different. So this price here, for the fact that we've closed below the 10 SMA, number one, tells me that the momentum is kind of drying out for the upside, right? And we can tell just by the volume, okay, compared to this huge run up so far, right, the past week and a little bit of this week as well on Monday. the volume is slowly going down, right? And so this tells me that we'll see consolidation, all right? So lower lows and lower highs, and then ultimately we will retest this 2-hour 21 SMA, all right? And so on the 2-hour, when we retest the 21 SMA, we tend to hold it. And guess what? We haven't retested the 21 SMA since we've broken out over $400 here, this psychological level. And this tends to be a great opportunity to long again on SPY. So if we see the 21 SMA being retested on the 2-hour time frame, that is your entry signal to get in long for SPY to potentially get in the run for another second leg up higher and possibly retest 414.50, which is the next major level of resistance. Or if you guys want to kind of look for an earlier exit point, look for 413. All right, so this is the next most important resistance level, right? And this is kind of the earlier entry point, exit point. But again, if you guys want to hold on over 413, then just get out at 414.50. Now, back on the 2-hour time frame, okay, I expect the 21 SMA to at least come around. I would predict to be around 46.50 to 47. All right, and that's possibly where the price can kind of stall, right, from going lower, and then we see that bounce around 46.50 or 47 or around that area, kind of oscillate between that area, that 50-cent range, and then break over this falling wedge or this descending level of resistance to the upside. All right, so I expect something like this, right? So tomorrow, all right, we test 410, come back down, kind of consolidate here, and then we break out, right, as the 21 SMA catches up here. All right, so let me just do a quick drawing here. All right, so this is what I expect it to happen. Okay, so this is what I expect it to happen. All right, and then once we start to see the 21 SMA and the 10 SMA converging again, we can see the price absolutely rocketing higher as well. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. All right, so this is what happens when we have this turnaround Tuesday trading day, and then we start to see that consolidation starting to form. All right, so make sure you guys remember this. Okay, hold on just a second here. Let me make sure I share the live stream with my members as well. All right, so does anyone have any questions on the overall market? Okay, all right, Adriana, let's go over the tickers now. Thank you for your patience, and hopefully this is very, very insightful here. This analysis for SPY. Okay, so let's go over Amazon. So Amazon has finally reached my maximum target of $104. And guess what? This 104 has been my target ever since we've looked for an entry point over 97 and 98.50. Personally, for me, I got in at 97 with shares. So things are looking very, very good. All right. And if you go on the weekly time frame for Amazon, Adriana, we're at a very critical level here. So I expect on the weekly time frame for us to reject that 104 one more time. Okay, so this is our, I mean, you guys can just have a nice little subjective moment here, but the first area of a touch, I guess, or a retest of 104 was here, and then the second time was over here, and now our third time is right now, right? And so as we've seen in the past here, we've retested it, and then we've rejected it multiple times, right? So I expect us to see that again happening at 104, but we won't see a very nasty rejection, right? Unless the market decides to absolutely just pull back and just, move way past, the support levels that I just talked about, right? And so if Amazon doesn't, well, if the markets don't do that, I expect Amazon to just pull back a little bit, right? And bounce around at least around 102, okay? And then create another higher low, come back to 104, and then break over, right? Since this is our third retest of the 104 level. And if you guys remember, there's that golden rule, okay? We have that golden rule of a third retest, right? Three touches at a pivotal, significant level, and especially at our level of resistance on an uptrend. Now, remember guys, there is a gap up here that we haven't filled as well for Amazon. All right, but that's not really kind of a rule for Amazon because again, SPY tends to fill in every single gap, whether it be a gap up or gap down. That doesn't really apply to Amazon here. Now, for Amazon, just wait for a break over 104. We attempted it today, but thanks to SPY being so, kind of pulling back here and being a little bit bearish throughout the day and on the intraday time frames, Amazon wasn't able to uphold 104 and close over 104, but there's a lot of relative strength at 104, right? And also a lot of relative strength on the overall name here, right, for the past couple of days. Since today, SPY was going all the way up and very, very bullish while SPY was going down. And again, I expect Amazon to start range trading between 102 to 104. Right? I mean, you can clearly tell that you can see this on the weekly time frame as well, right? 102. Right? That's the reason why I said 102 earlier while we were looking at the weekly time frame. And then you can clearly see that 102 level exists on the daily time frame, right? So as you guys can continue to learn and just experience how charts work, right, and how levels are made, you tend to kind of see things without even being able to draw them out first, right? So 102 here just caught my eye on the weekly time frame, and again, if you come back to the daily time frame, you can clearly tell that the 102 level is there. And so I expect us to kind of consolidate between 102 to 103 and then 103 to 104, and eventually we come back over to 104, and that's when we get that major breakout over 104, and then we can see a retest of the daily 200 SMA. And I love the fact that the 10 and 21 and the 50 are all starting to curl upward, and that'll be important in the future as we get closer to the 200 SMA on the daily time frame here, and that's when we get all four SMAs to gradually converge together and start to coil with each other, and that will lead to a lot larger impulsive move to the upside. All right, so Adriana, hopefully that was helpful. Okay. Hey, 6 likes. Thank you guys. Let's get to 10. Let's get to 10. 4 more. All right, so Roblox is looking amazing. So we had an entry point over $42, and this was a great entry point here. But if you go on the weekly time frame now, all right, so let's get the bigger picture. This one is needing a little bit of a pullback on the weekly time frame. All right, we're kind of forming. Okay, so first of all, textbook uptrend, right? We're seeing a nice, literally a very, very nice ascending channel. Okay, so an ascending channel is always good. Let me use this actually. Right, an ascending channel is telling you that there is an ascending trend, right? An uptrend. However, inherently, an ascending channel is bearish, right? It's very, very bearish. So there is a good chance that we can come back below 46 again, right? This major level of resistance at 46, and then retest at least 44, or we come back down to retest around 42. So somewhere around this ascending support trend line that coincides and converges at 402, and then we bounce from there. All right, so far we've been really respecting these two trend lines, these ascending trend lines, this ascending level of resistance and ascending level of support. But again, we're not too overextended on the RSI as well, right? RSI shows great strength on the weekly time frame, so there's still a good chance that this goes higher. All right, now with that in mind, let's go back to the daily here. So what we have here is a typical uptrend again, right? Nice breakout from this micro descending level of resistance, okay, on Friday, and we saw that nice push over $44, and then ultimately we retested 406, and today we're starting to see some of that resistance coming in, right, as we're kind of going past over this previous pivot high point. So again, everything looks bullish, right? The weekly is strong. We have a nice uptrend, this nice ascending channel that tells us that the overall trend is to the upside. And on the daily, we have also broken above that previous pivot high point of $46.05. So we have officially created today a new pivot high point compared to the last one, right? So we have a nice higher high point. And so today, the high of the day, 47.65, is the new pivot high point. And that's where we saw a nice rejection. So if we decide to kind of stall around here, around 46, there's still a good chance that we can go up higher and create another higher high and higher low until we hit this official ascending level of resistance. And that can potentially be around $49 or even $50, right? Or we might just be completely magnetized to this weekly level of $50.50 right over here. Okay, right? So this level right here, let's not confuse it with this one. All right, so $50.50. So Roblox, again, really, really strong on the weekly, but I'm gonna be cautious here, and there's a potential for us to come back below 46 and again, retest this ascending level of support that's a part of this ascending channel chart pattern. And that could be somewhere around 42, right? As you see this ascending channel or ascending support kind of converging with this horizontal level support at $42. Okay. All right, Adriana, hopefully that was helpful. Let's get the music a little bit louder there. All right, so with that in mind, do nothing, let's go over PLTR. So PLTR is still in the depths of the ocean here, right? It's still a single digit stock, but this one is starting to really accumulate now. So the company has been continuously growing, right? It's government contracts. However, it's just having a really, really bad problem with burning cash, right? I took a look at the fundamentals, right? The 10Q and the 10K, right? From last year, and it's all right, right? So they're growing their revenue, right? So the most recent earnings, right? They surprised on earnings, surprised on earnings, surprised on revenue and surprised on earnings, but they're still not really showing any type of trying to balance their balance sheet, right? And so once they're able to do that, once they're able to fix their cash burning problems, this one can absolutely rocket higher, right? But again, this one still has to prove itself to me as to whether or not this can be an investable name. Maybe in the future, yes, but the fundamentals still say that it's still not something that you should be looking at just yet. However, on the technical analysis perspective, right, it looks really good, right? So on the weekly time frame, again, we have this huge accumulation base here that spans a couple of months here since the middle of summer of last year, right? Since May of last year, right? And so this entire base from I would say $7 or actually even around $6.50 to $10.30, right? We have this huge base. And we've been kind of just oscillating between that within these very, very long months. Okay. Now, the only reason why I'm pointing this out is that there is a chance for us to actually come back, right? Actually come back to this resistance level once more as we did back in early or mid-February. Okay. And this was all due to earnings week. Right, so if we go back to the daily time frame, right, we saw a huge gap up on earnings, and then we saw that momentum, that FOMO run back towards that double-digit number, and then it all kind of fell off from there. Now, I still love the fact that we are basing on a daily time frame as well. So we had this flat top at $8.50 or $8.60 to be specific, and we're forming this higher lows. And as we're forming this higher low here, with this flat top, this resistance at $8.60, guess what we have here? We have a micro ascending triangle chart pattern. So this is an inherently bullish chart pattern. However, there is something wrong about this, or not wrong, there's something that you guys need to know about this chart pattern, right? So this one tends to fail a lot. So instead of breaking over that flat resistance or flat top of this ascending triangle chart pattern, we actually tend to retest this ascending support so many times that we decide to just break below it. All right, so the sellers just come in at that point of a retest of this ascending support trend line, and then we break through it, right? And so there's still a possibility for us to come back down and retest this daily level of $7.85 or 85-ish cents, right? So this support level here, and then we bounce again, right? And then we come back down or come back up over to 8.60. Now that's gonna happen within a span of a few weeks or even a few months. Why? Again, we've been what? Consolidating for months, right? Since May of last year, right? So it would make sense for us to just continue to consolidate for weeks and months, right? So even with this, very, very quote unquote small range here, this can take a couple of weeks, right, for us to kind of start ranging and sort of finding new levels of resistances and supports to kind of reject and bounce off of, all right? So hopefully, I expect this one to break over 8.60, but again, there's that high failure rate of this chart pattern to the downside, right? Right when we decide to retest this ascending support trend line and we break below it, okay? And once we do that, there's a possibility for us to retest $7.85. Now, there's one thing that I noticed here. All my daily SMAs are now converging. They're converging and they're now coiling with each other, right? They're kind of forming a nice thread here. And when we tend to see this happening, we tend to see a very, very large break or large impulsive breakout, either to the upside or to the downside, right? Who knows what could happen in the future? But that is what the SMAs are telling us right now. And so far, the price continues to hold over all of my 4 SMAs as we saw in the past, 4 to 5 trading days here, right? Especially the last 3 days as we continue to close over the 10, the 21, 50, and 200. And plus, we're about to get the 50 crossing over and converging over to 200 SMA. And you guys should know what that means. That usually means that we are seeing a golden cross. And that equates to a longer term perspective to be very, very bullish, right? And so, if we do get this 50 SMA breaking over 200, right? When we decide to see the 50 SMA crossing over to 200, and we get that bullish indication, I expect the price to continue higher tomorrow and retest officially at $8.60 and even potentially breaking over this flat top for this ascending triangle chart pattern. And once again, this chart pattern has a high rate of failure, right, to be especially as a bullish chart pattern. So make sure you are taking in that risk before you decide to get in for a trade. All right, so hopefully that was very, very insightful. Okay, Adriana, hopefully you're still here with your Amazon and Roblox, since I did just go over it before PLTRA. Do nothing. You're welcome. Hopefully that was very, very insightful. Okay. Adriana, if you're still here, let me know. And if you have listened to the Amazon Roblox breakdown, let me know. If not, you can always go back to the recording of this video, since it will be posted right after this live stream is over. And guys, for everyone who are just joining in now, make sure you watch the TA video that was sent to the CFO Swing and Watch members on Sunday to see what we're looking at and what you guys can potentially get in on, and kind of the overall market analysis that I gave to my members on Sunday night, kind of getting a sneak peek on what you guys can get if you guys join So make sure you guys check out the description box below to see the link where you guys can join us. All right, you get access to the newsletter and to the CFO Discord. Okay, so does anyone else have any tickers for me to look over? All right, I'm going over every single ticker in depth. And if you guys want that type of analysis, make sure you guys put it in the chat right now. Just be careful, guys, for the next, the last 2 days of this week. We will see very, very low volume, right? People won't be interested in trading a very, very short week. And also, it will be kind of not really, you really want to see active trading going on, right? That SPY continues to consolidate after such a turnaround Tuesday day, all right? So make sure you guys also remember and go back to the SPY analysis that I just gave you guys. Well, I gave you guys that like what, 20 minutes ago now? 25 minutes ago? Okay. All right, well, if there aren't any more requests, I'm gonna go over something that you guys should be watching for, okay? Unity, okay? So Unity software is forming a potential double bottom, right? So on Friday, after a gargantuan rise up, a very nice short squeeze type of move to the upside, we're now retesting the daily 50 SMA while the 10 has crossed over the 21. And if you guys have been with me for quite some time, you guys should know what that means. The 10 SMA crossing over the 21 indicates a bullish momentum to the upside, right? For the short-term perspective. And so for the fact that we are now uptrending, right, and the SMA is kind of confirming that we are in this uptrend, the price is starting to flag out right underneath the 50 SMA. And as we continue to flag out, the 10 and the 21 SMAs will eventually catch up to the price. And once we are done forming this flag, and the flag's kind of more prevalent here in the 2-hour time frame, all right, we should be able to see a nice big breakout for another second leg up higher. All right, so we have this flag resistance at $32.50, and then we are now seeing this ascending support trend line forming here, and we can continue to just flag and tighten up on the price action for the next 2 days, or even just tomorrow, and then break out on on Thursday, okay, over $32.50. So you guys should be watching Unity here if you guys wanted to see a nice uptrend break to the upside, so that you guys can get some nice long-term entries over $32.50. Alright, so this one is definitely worth the watch. The 4-hour looks very, very interesting as well. Unity has call contracts that are pretty cheap as well. Okay, so Unity just broke out over $30 on Friday, all right, with some good bullish fervor. So this is looking very, very good. So make sure you guys have this on watch tomorrow and on Thursday, and you can also carry it on over to next week if you guys don't see any type of a big break over 32.50 or a nice second leg up higher. All right, the next one that I want you guys to look at is Monster. So MNST had a nice 1-to-2 stocks split, or excuse me, 2-to-1, 2-for-1 stock split, not 1-to-2. That wouldn't make any sense. All right, so that means the share price got cut in half. All right, and the shares doubled. Right, the outstanding shares doubled. Okay, so for MNST, all right, for people who have been holding shares, they got more shares, right? But then their overall value of that investment, the long-term investment, has stayed the same. All right, that's essentially what happened. If you guys don't understand that, just look it up. All right, so look up what a 2-for-1 stock split is. It's very, very easy to understand. Okay, so if you guys want to know what the pre-stock split price was, just do 53.16 times 2. That's it. Okay. All right, actually, let me just do that for you guys right here. How about that? So right now, if we did not have a stock split, right? So $53.16 times 2, the price will be at $106.32. And if you guys want to reverse that, simple math, divided by 2. Right, that's what happened. Okay? Very, very easy to understand. And so, Monster, I want you guys to look at this because thanks to this stock split, we were able to use that event as a catalyst to officially break out of this deadlock of a consolidation range that we started since back in November of 2022. So back in November of last year. And this consolidation has been very, very dreadful to try to play with here and trade off of. But thankfully, we have now seen this nice breakout. And this is also what we call a VCP, right? Where we see this nice coiling of the price. All right, this is a VCP. Okay, we start doing this. We get tighter and tighter and tighter, making higher lows and higher highs. And ultimately, we see another larger breakout higher. All right, so this is what happened. Okay, to Monster, a very, very nice VCP. And we can also see the volume coinciding with the price action as it staircases lower like this. All right, so very, very nice VCP. And I love the fact that even though we've had 2 pullback days from the all-time high levels around here, the volume is still relatively low compared to while we are tightening up and coiling up higher. All right. So this is very, very good for a potential continuation run up higher. So today we're able to see a nice retest of an area of a previous breakout area between 52.70 to 53. And thanks to that retest, we bounced and then we closed over $53. So this is a very, very ideal close. And tomorrow, if we do get another third red day, I expect this to come back down to actually retest 52.75. But if the markets decide to move a little bit lower and continue to move lower after rejecting potentially around 410 or 409, as I said earlier in the live stream, we can come back down, right? So if we go on the 2-hour time frame or even just in the 4-hour, right? We can break below 52.75 and then fill in this gap that we left off of here. Right, this gap up that we did not fill. And the only reason why I say that is possible is that if we do break below 52.75, we can come back down to retest 52.50, and then we pivot and move up higher and continue this nice uptrend into new all-time highs again. So Monster has been avoiding any type of a large market move down by consolidating near the previous all-time high level since November of last year. And thanks to that consolidation, we are now seeing a nice breakout into new all-time highs, and potentially in the near-term future, in the next couple of days or even next couple of weeks, we'll see new all-time high levels around 55, 56, 57, and ultimately maybe even $60, right? And pre-split, that 2-for-1 stock split, that will be around $120. Okay, when it could hit $60, right? So that'll be $120 pre-stock split. All right, so watch Unity, watch Monster. Very, very crucial for you guys to look at these two names in the next couple of weeks, or even just the next couple of trading days, or even just for the rest of this week. So I would preferably tell you guys to day trade Unity. Okay, as you guys can see on the 2-hour time frame, we're making a nice bull flag that should continue on tomorrow as we reject 32.50 again, come back down to retest the ascending level support on the intraday time frame of the 2-hour, and then eventually we'll break over 32.50. Or again, like I said, on the 2-hour time frame on I believe SPY, okay, we can see the 21 SMA catching up to around 31.50, and that's when we can bounce off of that 31.50 and the 21 SMA after that retest, and then we come back over to 32.50 again and then break out. And this can happen, this can happen in the next couple of trading days or the next couple of weeks. Who knows, right? Because again, on the daily time frame, the uptrend is stalling out on the daily 50 SMA. All right, so if you guys don't want to focus on the longer term perspective, just day trade this one if it decide to break over 32.50 the next 2 trading days of this week. And so for MNST though, I was definitely telling you guys to look at this name from a swing perspective, right? Why? Well, first of all, this one has broken up to the upside after months of consolidation since November of last year. And so if you want to capture in as many gains as you can on a name that is now in an official uptrend into new all-time highs, you might want to swing this one. All right, so MNST and U are definitely names that you guys should be watching for. U for a day trade and MNST for a swing trade. All right, hopefully that made some sense. If that made sense, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up down below on this live stream. It will be very, very helpful for me if you guys can give me those likes there. Well, especially if you guys are enjoying what you're hearing, and especially if it's helpful. Especially, right? Especially if it's helpful. And also, if you guys aren't subscribed yet, why aren't you guys subscribed yet? Hit that subscribe button down below as well. Okay, for any of the new people in here, if you guys missed out on the initial market analysis, kind of a overview on what happened today in the markets, make sure you guys go back to the recording and watch it. I really advise you guys to watch what I told everyone else on SPY. All right, this is very, very important here on what I told everyone on SPY and what you guys can expect for the rest of the week. So make sure you guys watch back on the recording of this video, which will be uploaded right away after this live stream is done. And if you guys want to look at the technical analysis that I did for Amazon, Roblox, PLTR, U, and MNST, make sure you guys stick around as well on the recording. Okay, and then if there aren't any more tickers that you guys want me to go over, I'm gonna give you guys one more thing. Okay, one more ticker that you guys should be looking at for a swing trade. Mara. So this is a cryptocurrency focused name, right? Mara, as you guys should know by now, along with Riot. Okay, but Mara is showing some very interesting chart pattern, right? So Mara has been consolidating for quite some time, while its counterpart Riot has been moving up higher and higher, right? Making higher highs and higher lows. So it's a very good uptrend, and it has broken out of a range between $7 and $5. All right, so let's just make it a little bit more obvious here for you guys. Okay, so very easy breakout here. And so I truly believe that Mara is also stuck between these two kind of ranges here, like we see on Riot here. All right, so on Mara we are seeing a very nice range trading between $5 and $9, or $9.30. Okay, now currently we have a level of resistance around $9 specifically, right, on the whole number level. Why? Well, the daily 200 SMA is kind of breathing down its neck here, right? It's not allowing the price to try to break up higher. And so potentially right now we could be seeing a double top, right? So we formed the first top here at $9.12, right as we rejected the 200 SMA. And there could be a potential second top here from yesterday when we retested the 200 SMA. However, I do love the fact that we saw a nice bounce today on the 10 SMA, and we're trying to hold over this daily 10 SMA, which tells me that the momentum is still there for the bulls, but it's kind of shaky, right? And so if we see the bears coming back into this name, and we see another push below tomorrow, we can see a confirmation of this double top, and there's a potential for us to do kind of this McDonald's M type of move. Right? And we can come all the way back down to like 5.50 or $5 as a whole number. All right, so there is that possibility. So you guys have to remember this. All right, So we can come back down if we see this type of a double top. But again, I'm gonna stay bullish here, only because of the fact that we saw its counterpart Riot continuously moving higher with higher highs and higher lows, right? And it was able to break out of its own range between $5 and $7, right? And so for Mara, I truly believe it can do the same. Even on the weekly, it looks good, and we just have to get over this weekly 50 SMA, which also should coincide to the daily 200 SMA right over here. So we have a lot of large supply overhead kind of bogging the price down and preventing the price to break up higher. Okay, so with this one as well, again, the only reason why I'm staying bullish is that the 21 SMA is now catching up to the price, and we're starting to see really good indications that we want to be bullish on this name. Number one, the 21. Well, the number one reason right now of the reason why I'm saying it that this one should be bullish is that the 21 SMA has crossed over the 50 SMA, and we're starting to see the 50 SMA starting to flatten out and eventually curl down, and that could be good because that means the price can start to move away from the daily 50 SMA, right, and eventually break over the 200 SMA, curling back upward to eventually try to converge with the 200 and eventually have a nice golden cross where the 50 converges and then crosses over the 200 SMA, and officially establishing a bullish long-term perspective on this name, right? But that's all of a prediction, right? That's all speculation for the longer-term perspective, and just for now, focus on the fact that we have the 21 SMA crossing over the daily 50 SMA, which tells me that we are still looking at a nice bullish name. Okay, so Mara, again, look at this name as a swing trading perspective. So I gave you guys two names here, MNST and Mara, MARA for a swing trading perspective, and then U or Unity Software for a day trading perspective, as you guys can clearly see a flag forming on the 2-hour time frame. But again, if we come back down tomorrow and we see consolidation, continuous consolidation on SPY, as I've just told you guys at the start of this live stream, make sure you guys know that we can come back down to 31.50 and then bounce again and then retest 32.50 and then break out from there. All right, so Mara, MNST, U, and then we also went over Amazon, Roblox, and PLTR, thanks to the viewers here. So thank you guys so much for contributing. All right, that will be it for this live stream on Tuesday. For this Tuesday, make sure you guys come back on Thursday at the same time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you guys think that that's a little bit too late, especially for the folks that are in the Eastern Standard Time zone, okay, you guys can let me know, and I can try to at least start off this live stream at least an hour earlier from now. All right. Okay, guys, that's it for this live stream. If the technical analysis that was shown here was insightful, make sure you guys leave a like down below. And if you aren't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also, check out the description box below for the link to the CFO Swing and Watch newsletter. You'll gain access to all the current swing trades or any type of trades that we have right now and much more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all on another live stream, which will be on Thursday at the same time. Have a great rest of your night and good luck tomorrow.